Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. We have a couple of Mikados pulling in to our station there, which today will be replaced by our Class 9000 that we unlocked in the previous episode. And of course, we have an answer to the question, which engines, I almost gave it away straight away, which engine or engines were the most suited coupling? Oh, I said it again. Yes, it's two. Which two is either B or C are the most profitable for our line. Now I'm going to bring up the UI and we're going to head up to our train coming out the tunnel. Are you coming out the tunnel or are you just making it up there? We're going to change it before it gets here, so I will pause it at that point. Now the correct answer is C, which was the Mikado and the Atlantic. I'll throw up a graphic on the screen when we pause it just to explain why, if you're unsure. And we only had 3 correct answers. I do want to thank you all for taking part. It doesn't matter if you got it wrong. It could have been any of the other 2 if the line was slightly longer or slightly shorter. But for this specific line and a line rate of 200, which is key to how you work this out as being the most profitable. Yeah, we could have. There are so many. We've got loads of money in the bank, haven't we? Aren't we debt free as well? Yeah, we can just ignore that. Right, here comes our train. Let's pause that there. Right, why is the Mikado and the Atlantic, which just happens to be the one we originally did? This was before I went away and tested everything. So it was a bit of a guess. And it just happened to be the right one. In order to meet a line rate of 200, all these trains are limited to 50 miles per hour, so we can remove maximum potential speed from the equation. So everybody's got a fair shot at this, all the different consists you could build. The line rate had to be specifically 200 because we're going to double up on the train, and the maximum we can take line rate wise is 400 from our oil well here. So that means whatever engines we stick on here, we need to put wagons on until it meets 200 line rate, which meant each of the consists had a different amount of wagons. The 2 Mikados was a little overpowered. The 2 Mikados had 25 wagons on the back and had a running cost of 3.7 million. That meant that since we're getting paid the exact same thing at each drop-off point, no matter the time it takes, that was 18,814 we were paying per item on the 200 line rate. So yeah, all you need to do is take the running cost, divide it by your line rate you're going for. That gives you how much you're going to pay per item per year. That's how you work it out. Now our single Mikado, that's a bit of a different matter. Oh, do you know, we could just, let's have this move up a little bit. Yeah, our single Mikado had 32 wagons on the back in order to meet the line rate of 200. And that lent into negative returns. Yeah, we started to lose money the more wagons we put on. It just wasn't enough power. In contrast, our 2 Mikados was slightly too much power and we were increasing returns. So I'm going to throw the graphic up. Now we know that. And there we go. So the point of this isn't scientific and it's not the exact representation of the correct math for this, but it is about right. You'll see that our Mikado is at the point of maximum yield, so that's the maximum profit we're getting. Our 2 Mikados still had room, bags of room, because it had more power. So we could have put more and more on there. Obviously, we'd go then over 200 line rate, but we don't want to do that. We want to meet the 200 line rate, which was the kind of the clue in the question or the competition. Now our single Mikado there, you can see, is in negative returns. The more wagons we add onto that, the more expensive it gets per item. It will just slide and slide down the other end of this graph there, and it will just get more and more expensive. Likewise, say we upped it to 300 line rate, or even 400, it would be the 2 Mikados then, because we know then the Mikado and the Atlantic would start to follow the single Mikado as it would run out of power, and those two would just keep going into the negative returns. The Mikado and Atlantic would stay within diminishing returns a little bit, but then the two Mikados would catch up to it to the point of maximum yield, and it might become more profitable to do it that way. All of that being said, if we manage vehicles, oh yes, drop that off the screen. If we manage vehicles, that's not our only choice, is it? I mean, we did just unlock the class 9000. That would obviously be overkill for two trains on here to meet a line rate of a line rate of 200. We might get away with it if we had just one of these running it. But then we get to do we want that? Not really, because we want to exchange over here with another line. So we've got an interchange to consider as well. Which brings me to the frequency. Out of interest, the Mikado and the Atlantic's going to have 26 wagons on the back. Just one more, which gave it a cost per item for the 200 line rate per year of 17,585. So we're paying less per item that we're taking each year. And the single Mikado had 32 wagons. There could have been an instance if this line was shorter where the single Mikado would have still been within diminishing returns and maybe at the point of maximum yield, whereas the other two would then both be making their way up the increasing return slope. So yes, it all depends on your line. As long as you remember that when you're trying to match a line rate, which is everything about Transport Fever and freight, you've just got to match line rates. So that's how you work out how to make the best money, is what consist can you build, which one has the least costs involved. So for us, it's this one. Yeah, as we go back in here, there are a bunch of different things we could have done. Let's just pick our steam locos. We could have mixed and matched all of these, providing it's not that one, because that drops your maximum potential speed. That's a whole nother kettle of fish that's gone off and rotting. Yeah, we don't get into maximum potential speed. That's why I've chosen all locos that can hit the maximum of the wagon, so we're not getting penalised. It also makes this mogul redundant as soon as these are available with our wagons, which are these ones at 50. If we had these wagons on, every one of these is valid, including that one, because we're limited by the speed of the wagon and therefore not affected by maximum potential speed. So for this, how many wagons do we have on the back? 21. We only need 5 more then, and then that's our consist, and we'll need 2 of them. Before we do that, we're going to have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before we do that, we are going to have to double track our line here in order to give us a passing loop, probably a dynamic passing loop along this section, with our thought being that we can connect our eastern corridor here into this line and use that to continue up to Beaumont if we want to. Now we get to the winners. I rolled the dice out of the 3 people to decide who would be the line name. Who would have the line named after them? Perhaps is a better way to word that. And our first winner, what do we need to do? Get this. Yeah, what have we got it? Yes. So we need to rename this to not Clearwater Oil and Fuel Freight. We're going to rename this to Anglo-Saxon Oil and Fuel Freight. Congratulations, Anglo-Saxon. You guessed correctly. It was indeed the Mikado and the Atlantic. And now, our first train name, Train 1. Congratulations to Paul Coburn, who got the correct answer as well. And finally, we'll have Bob Brasler. Congratulations. You'll have the next train that comes out of this depot just here. First things first, let's have our passing loop up here, and perhaps we can have it after the station. It's going to absolutely mess up the line rate. I don't know what you're actually saying now. Oh, there we go. 205, which is about right. It was about 205. None of the consists said exactly 200 because it fluctuates quite a bit, just because of the way we're picking up and how long it takes. Oh, did you want to know the... I forgot to mention, didn't I? The frequencies, yeah. The single Mikado took nearly 2 years, which we don't want. We want to be passing stuff off quite frequently up here. And this is all going to change as well, isn't it? Because we're going to have the Class 9000 pulling those. The 2 Mikados was 18 months, and the one we've got now should be around 19 months once we're done. So there we go, there's the frequencies. So what do we need to do? We need to think about double tracking this. We'll have an in and out sort of thing, not burgers. Oh, yes. Remember I kept saying Chesapeake Hill Climb? Not Chesapeake, Pike Peak. That's the hill climb. But anyway, perhaps they do have a hill climb in Chesapeake. Maybe. I think it's a mountain bike trail. Possibly, or a run. I can't remember. Anyway, configure. Oh dear. Distracted today. I hope there wasn't too much numberage for you. We'll not do that again. Unless someone specifically asks for it, perhaps. Platforms. We are going to have to adjust our capacity depending on the capacity of our trains and how much we're supposed to be picking up here, as we don't want to waste any, do we? Especially when we can use the new feature of our lovely warehouse system that we have access to now in the base game. Oh, I absolutely love that they brought that in. Right, no catenary, thank you very much. We don't need that. We're not going to be dealing with electrics possibly ever. We might just switch to diesels or diesel electrics, whatever they may be when they come around. Now, we are running fairly slow. We're only going to be doing 50 mile an hour here. This is the setup I also have, was double tracked. It makes little to no difference really on the line rates. You'd be talking fractions anyway. I guess, where would we want it? I'm not sure where they're going to pass technically. This section is quite a bit longer than this section. So they're probably going to pass somewhere up here. I guess as long as we're not doing it on the climb, perhaps. I mean, we could maybe have it here. I don't mind this being double track tunnel. Yeah, we'll probably need it double tracked, won't we, anyway, regardless, because we're going to be having an extension there. We can add some whistle boards to this, can't we, at the tunnels? That'd be kind of nice. Give it a little bit more atmosphere around here. We'll just continue this up here before we do the climb. We do lose a bit of speed on that inside curve. Ooh. I don't like that. Is this whole inside curve slower, perhaps? It might be. No, that's 50. I would prefer, then, if this was the inside curve up to that point. So we're going to have to swap around up here. So that the inside curve is actually the outside curve currently. Alright, you didn't have to delete everything. We do have the money for this, thankfully. So this becomes the inside curve now. Hopefully it should stay at 50. There we go, we're connecting. Are we connecting to the right side? That side there. There we go, we haven't lost any speed now, which means we can bring this out, hopefully at 50. Can we get 50 round this corner? We're going to do a better job of it later on, but we're going to have a bit more of a junction going on because we're going to continue up to Beaumont. It's just not quite there, is it? What about here? We've just got to find the right place for this to make a 50 mile an hour. There it is. Yeah, if we do it right on that corner, then this should be 51. There we go. And we don't lose the speed, do we? That's perfect. Love that. Is that right? That should connect now, shouldn't it? And we've got left and right. Yes. Right, so we're done there. We're going to need blocking signals up here. We're actually going to need to switch over our platforms as well. We only need single. We did make it a one-way system there. Yeah, you're not going to like it because you're choosing the incorrect platform. But that's fine. We can change that. We'll have another signal up here. We're not going to do any blocking in between because it's not required at the moment. We will do once we merge this with the eastern corridor there. You're going to be heading this way. We might as well put a signal at the end of the platform perhaps, and one coming in just for a bit of scenery. There we go. now we've got to address this issue, and our last stop should be the there we go, Anglo-Saxon oil and fuel freight. Our last stop will be on the opposite side, won't it? Our first stop was the one that needs to change. So the oil refinery needs to be, it actually tells you here, the oil refinery, I'll click off it, there we go. Terminal 1, not combinable. So yeah, it's warning you here that you can't get to this platform, which is correct, because we now have this one-way signal here blocking access into this platform. But if we change it to 2, it'll fix it all, and now we have a little bit of one-way track now, just here. It's not really a dynamic passing loop, it's a I don't know where the trains are actually going to pass passing loop. So we'll just leave it like that for now. We are waiting till full, so what we'll be able to do, if we can afford it, which we should be able to do, is duplicate this train once it gets going. Before we do that, in fact, we can press play now. I think, can we? Yes, we can, and then we'll go and do the Class 9000s. Right, you go and pick up your fuel. We'll duplicate you when we've got the funds. I'd rather not take out a loan. We could do, but it'll be pointless, really, until this train gets up to here, as we want them roughly separated correctly. It won't be exactly where they're supposed to be separated. So 312 is what we need to be able to store at each of our platforms, roughly. So if we go to terminals here, we can store, that's 280, right? Each, yeah, platform. Not so much for the one we're dropping off on, but that doesn't matter. So, well, it kind of does matter, doesn't it? We don't need to worry about one of the platforms, meaning the storage facilities will only cater for one. So that's kind of perfect. We don't have to split it. So we're going to configure this. Did you completely forget on the amount? Yes. And what we got? 312, was it? Oh, come on, Grand. Put that down there and then you won't forget. I don't think it hides it, does it, if we configure? Oh, it does. You silly sausage game. Why would you do that? Don't take my windows away. I want my windows up. Never mind. How many do we need for that then? 280. Another 20. Say another 40. That'll be enough, wouldn't it? That'll take it to 320. Do we have one for 40? Of course we don't. We have one for... Oh, there we go. I mean, it's a connection, but it is 40. Can we squeeze it in and will it connect? Oh, it's beautiful. That should give us the amount we need, right? 80. Yeah, there we go. 80 would take us 6320. We only need 312. And we need to do the same up here, don't we? While that's heading down there. Configure this. Well, you might want to check what the actual capacity is. We've got 160, we've got 200, so we needed quite a bit more there. Though I guess we could extend this further back that way, couldn't we? Do we have the funds for it? We do. We could have another platform. How many platform segments do you have on here? 1, 2. You can count the signpost to know the segments. I mean, you can do a bit of math too, but we're not doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 on there. How many you got on here? 5, maybe? 6. We can, yeah, it might be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Lovely. So we'll need 6 on here. We'll keep it nice and even. We shouldn't need it up here because we're taking fractions. Or are we? Yeah, we're bringing fractions back, aren't we? It's going to take 2 oil, is it? No, no, it's 1 for 1. It could possibly be full up there, so we need to extend that. We'll keep all of our stations equal length. I think that's going to make more sense. We might need to get rid of this road quickly before we do this, as we'll need a bit of room to fit in our depot back at the end. As we're not connected to the main line, that won't do it, will it? Configure. So what do we need? 2 more tracks. Let's get you and you. Then we'll get some platforms on there. 1, 2, and then that should be good, right? Yes, that should be the same. We should be at 280 again, and then we need that same building configuration, which would be this one. Was that the 40? Yeah, we'll pop that on there. It doesn't matter if it doesn't connect, but I don't think. No, and that should give us the 320, I'm hoping. Yes, it does. Beautiful. There we go, guys. Lovely. Right, let's give us our depot back. I guess we could curve it round a little bit too, couldn't we? We could go around that way. Provided it doesn't make a tunnel, we'll put in our depot again, where our new train's going to be duplicated and come out of. We don't need any of that on. There's a story behind this, because we don't have access to dirt tracks anymore. So this is a new segment of road after we did all the modifications up here. Is that what we're running with? That works, doesn't it? We'll just send it round. There we go. Lovely. I mean, we could upgrade it all, but we'll just leave it like that for now. So, we've got this matching. We're going to have to do the same over here as well. And that's that done. There we go. I didn't put you through it again. And this should also be 320. Now we're all equal everywhere. It does slightly lengthen the line a little bit, but it's not going to affect our 200 line rate. It's probably messed up our 200, yeah, but there we go. The frequency is 19. It should even out and become that eventually. How much are we storing on there? 270. We carry quite a lot now, don't we? You're going to be dropping off 312 barrels of oil, which is going to make us a decent bit of money, isn't it? Yeah, how much is that going to be? 312 barrels. 5 million, look at that. Right, do we have enough money to duplicate this? I don't think so. Not enough money. Important note. It is fairly important, isn't it? You can get the cost of it. We need 21.4 million. Nearly 21.5 million, let's say that. 21.5 million to build this consist. That's fantastic. Oh, a good point. Ah, look at that, guys. That wasn't planned. I'm impressed with myself there. Well played. Do we have some money on the way? Oh, this is a... pause that. This is a point, isn't it? We don't want a hold up here. I think I'd rather spend the money. Also, this isn't going to work, is it? Because if he moves into there, what's going to happen is he's going to stop at this signal and his back end's going to be over there. Well, or is it? Should we see? Let's have something to fix. We might need to fix this. This should be possibly double tracked. I like that though. It will be a good experiment. I bet you are not considered over or blocking. I'm not 100% sure whether that will be considered it blocking. We'll see. Oh dear, this is going to be interesting. If it isn't, I'm still going to double track it anyway because I do not like this. Yeah, look, it's saying, yeah, you can go. That is absolutely fine. It's not though, is it? Transport fever. Yeah, you're pulling away, but we don't want that. I mean, it just goes to show though that you can get away with it, even though that is, I would say, a collision. Dear oh dear. Right then, which side? Are they both the same side? It doesn't really matter, does it, Gran? Let's get rid of that and that. And what we'll do is we'll just redraw it all. There we go. And we'll connect it up as a double track because I don't like that. We could have maybe slightly lengthened the passing loop, but why squeeze them in there at all? I would rather our trains wait to access the helix there than sit in some weird positions all around the track. Right, let's get this double tracked. I was like, where's the rest of the track gone? Okay, you are where is our track? There it is. You are going up there. Is that right? Is that the right side? Yes. You are going up there. How much is that costing us? Well, it's not too bad, is it? It should be slightly cheaper. I think it is. Yeah, slightly cheaper to double track a tunnel. We did have some signals here, so let's add some blocking signals. There and there. Lovely. We need this guy to come around and make us some money. This won't happen any longer because it won't let it through. Or it won't have to wait either. Well, it might. Although this signal's further back now, I think. So we should be okay. It's still a bit close. I'm really tempted to move this back a little bit further, to be fair. Let's put it there and make sure that we have none of that unsightliness, even though functionally they both do the same thing. You go and pay us a load of money, and then we can duplicate this guy who's heading up the hill now. This is our forever consist. We don't technically have to ever change this, even when modern diesels come along, because we're going to meet this 400 line rate forever. Once we've got it set and in stone, that's it. This is not going to be any more. What might be a fun little experiment later is it more profitable to run the diesels if we can get the right power? I mean, we have a rough idea of the power we need. Yes, here we go. I do know an answer to this. We're going to have faster wagons, which brings in maximum potential speed. I'm not going to highlight which video that's in where I get salty about maximum potential speed, but it's there in... which series was it in? The hard mode series, right, for Squirrel, where we did a deep dive for that and made us all miserable. But yes, it's in there somewhere early on. And I was quite sad when I realised that was a major component of how much money you get paid. But yeah, so let's ignore that. But that is a thing we could do. We'll definitely get paid more. Whether it ends up being more profitable, I've still got my notes for all how much the actual payments were per item at this speed at 50. So it might be something to consider. Where are we? There we go. So we're going to get a double payday here. I'm not going to put the 9,000s on just yet. We are going to put them on at the end though. Payments coming out. We're not paying any interest anymore. I will assume we're making a fortune though each year. Well, not each year because of the length of our lines, right? Yeah, this one's frequency is more than a year, and this one is currently more than a year. I think they're both 19 months, aren't they? At the moment. 19 and that. Oh, that's actually 17 months. That might get a little bit better once we stick the 9,000 on there. We've got a little bit more to reach the 400 here. We'll probably have 3 trains depending on how much we can fit on with the class 9,000. If we can get both these to run at 400 each is a bit of a push. Would it be 400 each? No, it would be, well, yes. We've got to meet 400, haven't we? So they'd need to do 200 each, which they're obviously not doing at the moment. Yeah, the line rate is 238 per station. That's with 2 trains on. So we'd need this to read 266, roughly, right? And then have 3 trains. 133 each. Does that math out right for 400? I think it does. Right, 19 million. Still not quite enough. Do we have our other train making their way up? Well, do you know, I don't like to do it, but you're a long way off and we could have a payment go out before we see another payment come in. Depends. What are you doing? Are you coming in? Are you full? You're full. I mean, these have got to get up to speed as well. We're nowhere near the 400 mark, are we, on these? They both need to be 400 as well. We've got a lot to do with this as well. And we've got this extension to do. Going all the way up to, what is it? Montgomery up there. Yeah, there we go. 22.5k. 22.5k. That would be nice. 22.5 million we need to duplicate. You would have a big payout, wouldn't you? Of course you do. I might just take a loan out. I don't think this is going to be enough. Well, I think wrong. There we go. 23 million. We should be able to duplicate this train now, and it's probably a little bit wonky. Where are we? This map is rather large. Yes, this is going to be a little bit wonky because we really want this coming back down as that one's leaving, as this is the longer section. But that's fine. They'll sort themselves out eventually. Duplicate you. We need to rename you as well, don't we, for the third and final winner of our little competition we have. Bob Razzler. There we go. There's all our winners. We've got Bob Razzler, Paul Coburn, and Anglo-Saxon is the line name. And we've got 1.7 million left in the bank after all that, with another train coming out of this depot. If it had come out of another depot, that would have been disappointing. Alright, so our next train is there. This has boosted this line no end to what we had at the beginning of the episode. We were only doing, what, 175? We also can't really look at the line rate at the moment because he's going much slower. You're limited to, what is it, I think 15 when you're coming out the depot. So for a little bit of his journey, he's limited. And we're not always going to have, I'm hoping, full platforms. You should be picking up and emptying and possibly waiting a touch for it. One good thing about having shorter platforms, whether this is cost effective or not is debatable, but I would imagine they haven't changed the mechanic where when a train is loading and unloading, you are paying 75% less maintenance. So when you're matching line rates, if part of that is waiting longer, you are actually paying less than stated just here. Yeah, the running cost per year. So that is something to consider, but would take an eternity to work out. Are you heading back up? You're heading back up. You will eventually, both of these trains will eventually have fuel on them. We may need a bit more room on here, right? There's the potential to hold whatever this is bringing down. Yeah, we should really align that with this, shouldn't we? Where do I want to do that, though? That's the question. It's a little bit risky doing it that way, isn't it? Maybe. What heights do we have there? We've got 10 meters, say there, and there's 5 meters difference nearly. Dear, oh dear. Yeah, so if anything, it wants to be that side, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You already have 6. We don't have to change it, guys. We just need more storage. How much you got on there? You store. Is that 320? No, we're 20 short. So what 20s do we have? We could just put 30 on. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice, doesn't it? And it's not too expensive. Yes, there we go. We'll just have that there. We'll tidy all this up later, I think. Yeah, we could change these as well. I mean, it's just a building on its own at the moment. But we could make it look like it's not, redo the road and stuff. I don't know how much it would cost to do that now. I don't want to blow all our money, though. Oh, yeah, we've got to do the... Don't do this, Grand. Do you know, I've half done it now. I'm just going to do an official episode because I did that. There we go, official episode. Lovely. Oh, I do miss doing this. Eventually, we're going to have more money than we know what to do with. Well, I do know what to do with it, and I was doing a bit of it there. That's what we're going to spend all our money on later. This is all working now. You should be delivering, right? Our other oil train should have. Yeah, it's got 200 on there. That's going to be a bit of a payday. Our coal train is on the way back. Where's our iron train? Our iron train has already dropped off. He's on the way back as well. We do still have to improve the line rates of those and our trucks as well. We should get those up to 400 fairly easily and fairly early as well. Do we have enough funds to modify these with a single class 9000 on the front instead of 2 Mercados? What is the current power? We've got 3.1, so we're going to gain a lot more power. We might even, well, we should gain a bit of line rate on that as well, because it's a lot of climbing on the Eastern Corridor. I would imagine it's mainly going to be the same on the West Corridor. Should we see if we can afford it? We'll do this one first. Where's our class 9000? It's got quite a bit more power, hasn't it? 4.8k. Can we afford it? No, we can't. Goodness me, that's pricey. What is the cost of that? 13.1 million just to buy, and 2 of those is like 8.4, so yeah, or 8.5. Should we just take a loan out? I don't really mind, do you? We could add this one to it. How much are we going to need total? Let's get rid of that, and then we'll add that one to it as well. It's going to be a total of 16 million. Alright, there we go. We can modify those. That is the new consist. We'll pay that loan back off pretty rapidly. It's only a 12 million loan. And we get to see now... Oh dear, that's a noise. We get to see our 9000s in action. And we will indeed ride these, won't we, at the end. Let's close that. Oh, they're big. Not big boys, but they're quite big. We do get the big boy at some point. That's going to change how we set up the line, isn't it? Up there, once with the big boy unlocked. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's watch the 9000 come in at the station here. Let's end it with red money. Why not? We'll get on board this one on the way back out. We're at Palmdale, aren't we? Yeah, at Palmdale. There we go. So on the station there. Oh yes, let's get up. See you screech into the station, or at least screech a bit as the brakes go. There we go. Lovely. Look at all your wheels. Many wheels. Oh. Yeah, you don't fit on there anymore, do you? Do you fit signal-wise? Ooh, you don't. That's awkward. I think we need to... Oh, we've got enough room here. Look at that. Just enough room for another platform segment. I'd prefer that. I don't want our back end over this signal. That's not how signals should do, is it? No. Yeah, we'll sort that out. Oh, look at this, guys. To end. Repay. We are debt free. 1.7 million. Isn't that what we started the episode on? And we did all of that. We doubled up on our train and added more to it as well. And we replaced 2 Micados with 2 Class 9000s. Not bad. Alright guys, we're on board our brand new Class 9000. The one we saw just pulling into Palmdale. I'll leave you on this for a little bit. Good news, there is an hour save game available in the description below. I'm not sure whether I can update it regular, because it sometimes doesn't work on the upload front. So yes, I'll update it when I can. It's as of the previous episode, so if you wanted to go ahead and see what sort of consist you could make that's cheaper than the 17,500 per item of the one we've got running, then let me know down in the comments below. It'll take you a while to run it backwards and forwards until you reach the line rate of 200. You do have the option of another loco that you could use. Perhaps you could even use the Class 9000. But there's a couple of things to remember. Ideally, we want 2 trains for the frequency of the transfer onto the main line here. And it's got to be a line rate then of 200. Because the maximum we can take is 400. You could possibly have a different or a more cost-effective consist. Maybe. Oh, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for some traffic, guys. Is that the iron train coming back out? If it is, it's pretty quick, isn't it? Or have we got a snarl up? Oh, what's happening? Excitement. Blow your horn, Grand. I'm hoping it's the iron train and nothing else. Oh, it is. Look at that. He's just pulling out. In fact, I think he's pulling out in front of both of the mainline trains. You do you. As long as you're making us money, I don't mind. Well, we're running empties anyway, so we probably wouldn't have priority. They're probably still filling up, aren't they? At the oil wells. Guys, thank you for watching. That was a bit of excitement to end with. And until next time. Take care.